Hey everyone, welcome back to Warren's Everyday English. In the previous episode, Greg was determined to move up to a higher weight class in his wrestling unit. To achieve this, he needed to pack on some muscle. When he asked his mom for exercise equipment and weight gain powder, she insisted that he prove his commitment to a regular exercise regimen first. Greg realized that mom and dad wouldn't be much help, so he decided to take matters into his own hands. Curious to see how Greg tackles this challenge on his own, let's follow his journey and discover what unfolds next in the story. I couldn't wait to start my weight training program today. Even though mom wouldn't let me get the equipment I needed, I wasn't going to let that hold me back. So I went into the fridge and emptied out the milk and orange juice and filled the jugs with sand. Then I taped them to a broomstick and I had myself a pretty decent barbell. After that, I made a bench press out of an ironing board and some boxes. Once I had that all set, I was ready to do some serious lifting. I needed a spotting partner, so I called Rowley. And when he showed up at my door wearing some ridiculous getup, I knew I had made a mistake inviting him. I had made Rowley use the bench press first, mostly because I wanted to see if the broomstick was going to hold up. He did about 5 reps and he was ready to quit, but I wouldn't let him. That's what a good training partner is for, to push you beyond your limits. I knew Rowley wasn't going to be as serious about weightlifting as I was, so I decided to try out an experiment to test his dedication. In the middle of Rowley's set, I went and got this phony nose and mustache Roderick has in his junk drawer. And right when Rowley had the barbell in the down position, I leaned over and looked at him. Sure enough, Rowley totally lost his concentration. He couldn't even get the barbell off his chest. I thought about helping him out, but then I realized that if Rowley didn't get serious about working out, he was never going to get to my level. I eventually had to rescue him because he started biting the milk jug to let the sand leak out. After Rowley got off the bench press, it was time for my set, but Rowley said he didn't feel like working out anymore, and he went home. You know, I figured he'd pull something like that, but I guess you can't expect everyone to have the same kind of dedication as you. So let's go over the key expressions. I can't wait to do something. So this expression is used to convey excitement or anticipation about doing something in the near future. So in the passage, Greg is eager and excited to begin his weight training program, and he's planning to do it right away. Hold someone back. When we say hold someone back, it means preventing or restraining them from doing something or reaching their full potential. It's like an obstacle or barrier that stops someone from moving forward or accomplishing what they want. So in the story, even though Greg's mom didn't allow him to get the proper workout equipment, he didn't let that stop him, and he was going to find a way to continue with his weight training program despite the obstacle. Empty something out, fill something with something. So let's imagine you have a jar filled with marbles. Now if you take all the marbles out of the jar, leaving it completely empty, you have emptied the jar out. It's like removing everything that was inside. On the other hand, if you have an empty jar and decide to put some candies into it, you fill the jar with candies. This means you're adding something to the container, making it full. So here, Greg took the milk and orange juice out of the jugs, leaving them empty, and then put sand into the jugs, making them full of sand. Greg is repurposing the containers for his makeshift weightlifting equipment. Have oneself something. So the expression have oneself something means to possess or own something, usually for personal use or enjoyment. It implies that you've acquired or created something for your own benefit. So let me provide some examples to make it clearer. Imagine you really enjoy reading mystery novels. If you buy a new mystery novel and say, I have myself a new book, it means you now own a book that you're excited to read. So in the example from the book, in the text Greg mentions, then I taped them to a broomstick and I had myself a pretty decent barbell. This means Greg created a makeshift barbell using the sand-filled jugs and a broomstick, and now he possesses a functional barbell for his weight training program. Make something out of something or someone. So the expression means to create or form something, often using available materials or resources. So for instance, imagine you have some old wooden crates and a piece of glass. If you put the crates together and place the glass on top, you can say, I made a coffee table out of old crates and glass. This means you created a coffee table using those materials. It can also refer to forming an opinion or understanding about someone based on available information. So if someone asks, what do you make out of the new intern? They are essentially asking for your assessment or opinion about the new intern. What characteristics, qualities, or traits do you perceive in the intern based on your experiences or observations of their behavior, work, or interactions? In the text, Greg mentions, after that, I made a bench press out of an ironing board and some boxes. This means Greg created a bench press using an ironing board and some boxes, forming a piece of workout equipment. All set. So the expression all set is an informal way of saying that everything is ready or prepared. It's often used to convey that someone has completed their tasks or arrangements and is ready to proceed with a particular activity. Imagine you're about to go on a road trip and you've packed your bags, checked the car, and ensured you have all necessary items. You could then say, okay, I've got snacks, the map, and the car is fueled up. I'm all set for the road trip. So now, Greg has everything ready for his weightlifting workout. Spotting partner. A spotting partner is a person who stands by you while you're lifting weights, ready to assist if you struggle or if the weight becomes too much to handle. They're like a safety net during your workout. Hold up. Hold up often refers to something's ability to endure, remain in good condition, or withstand different pressures or challenges. So let's look at some examples. The old bridge held up surprisingly well during the storm, proving its sturdy construction. I hope the brakes on my bike can hold up while riding down the steep hill. Greg wanted to test if the broomstick would remain sturdy and not break under the pressure of Rowley's bench press. Push someone beyond their limits. It means to encourage or challenge someone to exceed their usual or perceived capabilities. It involves motivating others to achieve more than they initially thought possible. Greg is saying that he didn't allow Rowley to quit during the workout because he wanted to challenge Rowley to exceed his perceived abilities, and he believes this is part of being a good training partner. Try out. The phrase try out is commonly used to mean testing or experimenting with something to see how it works or how one feels about it. So let's break it down with some sentence examples to make it easier to understand. Before buying the full version, you can try out the free trial of the software to explore its features. We decided to try out the new sushi place in town to see if it lives up to the positive reviews. In the middle of something. The phrase in the middle of something is an expression used to describe being engaged or involved in an activity or process that is ongoing or not yet completed. So let's explore a few instances of in the middle of. Please knock before entering the room. I might be in the middle of an important project. We were in the middle of dinner when the power went out, leaving us in the dark. Lean over. The expression lean over is a physical action that involves bending your body forward or to the side, typically from the waist, so that the upper part of your body tilts or moves towards something. Sure enough. The phrase sure enough is often used to confirm that something expected or predicted has indeed happened or is true. If you predict it will rain tomorrow and then it does rain, you can say, sure enough, it rained. This means your prediction was correct. And Greg's expectation that Rowley would lose his concentration was accurate. Get off. The phrase get off can have various meanings depending on the context. So let's explore a few common uses. The first expression is to physically climb off of something or to exit something, particularly a vehicle. So here are some examples. We're in the last row, so it's going to take us a while to get off the plane. Get off that ladder before you fall and hurt yourself. In the context, Rowley got off the bench press. Get off has the meaning of getting up and leaving the bench. Another definition is to finish work or be excused from a duty or responsibility. I can't wait to get off work and relax at home. And when you get off a phone call, it means to end a phone conversation. So for example, after I got off the phone with Bob, I went to the restaurant to pick up dinner. Another instance of get off is when you say, let's get off the topic of homework. You are saying that let's stop discussing homework and talk about something else. Don't feel like doing something. When someone says they don't feel like doing something, it means they lack interest or willingness to participate in a specific activity based on one's current emotional state or mood. So for instance, I don't feel like doing my homework tonight, I'm too tired. Or, she doesn't feel like going out, she prefers to stay home and relax. And finally, they don't feel like cooking, so they're ordering takeout instead. Pull something like that. So this is an informal expression that generally means to engage in unexpected or tricky behavior. It suggests that the person is doing something contrary to what was expected or agreed upon. In the context where Greg says, I figured he'd pull something like that, it indicates that Greg expected Rowley to behave in an unexpected or avoiding way, such as canceling the workout or not following through with the initial plan. Here are some examples. I can't believe he pulled something like that on the day of the presentation. He didn't show up to the meeting. Don't be surprised if she pulls something like that and changes her mind about the trip at the last minute. So that covers the expressions from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. We will continue to go over additional expressions and passages from the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book in another video. I hope you've learned a lot today. Take care everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.